Hello everyone, welcome back to another very interesting Projection 3D video tutorial. Today we'll create a scene with the warrior from Dragon Age Inquisition game, and here's what it's gonna look like. Alright, now let's see how it's done. Create a new composition and import an image called Dragon Age Warrior. Press Find Camera. Scale the helper grid to 1000. Find the correct position for the camera. Change the focal length. Increase the shadow map resolution to 4000 to allow for the best quality. Now select camera and image and click Create Projection. Press Pre-compose and specify the number of copies. Make it 5. Okay, double click on Projection Scene 5. Create a plane primitive and scale it to 1000. Uncheck the left and bottom and create a backside plane using helper grid properties. Scale it. Great! We have both floor and the backside. Now we just need to remove the warrior. Select Projection Scene 5 and press Replace Projection Image and replace Dragon Age Warrior with the image called Background. Double click on Projection Scene 5. Okay, now let's create the mountains. Create a new solid and call it Masks. This is just a supporting layer, and we'll get rid of it afterwards. Okay, so let's start masking out the left mountain. Fine. Now let's change the color to see it better. Duplicate the mask 1 and change the color to blue. Okay, now we must drag mask 2 down and align it over the slopes of the mountain. Great! Let's duplicate mask 2 and do the same with mask 3. Now we need to align all the masks so that they're on the same line. Like so. Alright? And finally, let's duplicate mask 3. Select all masks and open the Mask Modeler tool. Press Create Surface 2 times. Set the depth to 1000 and press Create Surface again. Group the surfaces that you've just created into one object. Now we must generate a position for the mountain that we've just created. To make the model fit in correctly, move the anchor point to the lower right corner. Use the hotkeys to copy the position of the null object and paste it in the surface object. Notice that you might want to switch to wireframe mode for convenience. Okay, now let's adjust the model. Use masks as a guide for that matter. Great, we did it! Now, by switching the camera to Custom View 1, you can clearly see what you did there. Alright, now let's remove the masks, we don't need them anymore. We'll create new ones. Start masking the right mountain. Change the color, and duplicate the mask. Drag down Mask 2, change the color, and align it with the slopes of the mountain. Duplicate Mask 2 and do the same with Mask 3. Now, let's align all the masks so that they are on the same line. You can press Ctrl R on the keyboard and use the ruler to be more precise. Cool. And lastly, duplicate mask 3. Select all masks and click Create Surface 2 times. Set the depth to 1000 and press Create Surface again. Now group them. Now we need to generate the position of the mountain again. Good. Now press OK to create a null object. Move the anchor point to the lower left corner. Copy the position of the null object and paste it on the surface object. Switch to wireframe mode and adjust the mountain surface. Go back to the standard mode and switch to custom view 1 to see the result. Cool. Switch to active camera. Let's move the camera. As you can see, small figures on the left mountain side and the castle on the top of the mountain on the right don't move. We must fix that. To fix it, import image called castle. Drag it to the composition window. Make it a 3D layer. Turn off accept light and shadow, because we need a clean image. Switch to the top view and align the image by the top of the mountain. Go back to active camera and drag the castle image where it belongs. Alright, that's done. Import the image called Pace of Mountain and repeat the same steps. Now, align the image by the far edge of the mountain. Drag the piece of the mountain to its place. Switch the camera to Custom View 1 to see the result. Great, we made it! Now we need to modeling the far mountain on the right. Remove the masks and start creating new ones. To close the frontal surface of the model, you need to create a closed mask. Now duplicate the mask and align it by the slopes of the mountain. Align the mask 2 with the mask 1 and reduce it along the y-axis. Select both masks, mark the front and press Create Surface. Great! Now the mountain's ready, and all there's left to do now is to move it to its place. Generate a position and create a null object. Copy the position of the null object and paste it in the mountain model as we did before. Scale and adjust the model. To make things more simple, make other layers invisible by clicking those eye icons. This way you can check the result inside the main composition. Okay, now let's move the camera to see how the mountains move. Cool, everything moves smoothly. Delete a null object. You can also scale the model a little bit along the z-axis. Okay, this one's ready. Now let's move on to the far mountain on the left. Delete all the old masks and create new ones. Change the mask color and duplicate. Drag mask 2 down and scale it out along the y-axis. Good. Select both masks and reset all mask modeler parameters and press Create Surface. Generate a position for the new model. Copy the null object position and paste it on the model. Alright, now scale and adjust it. Almost ready. Okay, let's see how it looks. Right, well, maybe we just need to move the mountain a little bit. Alright, looks pretty cool. Now let's move each object to its composition. Rename both models by calling them Surface. Now, hide all compositions except Projection Scene 4. Double-click Projection Scene 4. Move both models to Projection Scene 4 Com. Move all the layers except for the last 3 into Projection Scene 3 composition. Okay, now we need to replace projection images. Select Projection Scene 5 and click Replace Projection Image. Select Background 3. Then select Projection Scene 4 and click Replace Projection Image. Choose the image called Background 2. Okay, now let's put the warrior back where it should be. Go to Projection Scene 5, select the plane and generate the position of the warrior. Import the image warrior.png and drag it to the composition window. Activate 3D and turn off Accept Light and Shadow. Copy the null object's position and paste it on the warrior. Double-click on the warrior layer to adjust the anchor point. Great! Scale it out a little bit. Now we need to move the warrior from Projection Scene 5 to Projection Scene 2. Very well. Our scene is almost complete. Now let's animate the camera. Select all keyframes, right-click, choose Time Reverse Keyframes. Now select the keyframes, go to Keyframe Assistant and choose Easy Ease. Very well, guys, the animation is now complete. Now let's deal with those white areas in Photoshop. Open Background 3 in Photoshop. Go to Image, Canvas Size, and make it 4800 by 2700 pixels. Use the Clone Stamp tool to restore the sky. Okay, as you can see, we only cover the white parts without affecting the rest of the image. Now save it and go back to After Effects. Let's make a pre-render. Great, our projection is finally ready. All there's left to do now is to add a smoke, some particles, and some fire. This is a ready-made scene. Here's where I added some smoky layers. And projection scene 1 is where I added some fire and particles. To create the lightning, I used the standard Adobe After Effects Advanced Lightning effect. Alright, well that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.